I'm 31 years old, and I spent the first 20 years of my life in that house, so most of my life in that house. The house means a lot to me, and it's a big part of who I am. And it's where I spent a lot of Christmases, birthdays, and Halloweens. It's where all those big milestones happen, like learning how to walk and talk and ride a bike. It's where I left for my first day of kindergarten and my last day of high school. And it's where I developed my lifelong passion for movies, from watching Jurassic Park and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when I was very young. I still dream about the house, like I still live there. I lived many places since I moved out 10 years ago, but I don't dream about them. I guess those places were just places for me to stay, whereas the house where I grew up is and always will be my home. One of the striking features about the house is that it's only on like an acre of land, but when I was little, there was 13 trees on the property, which is quite a lot for just an acre. I think by the time I moved out, like probably half of those trees got cut down, and I remember crying when some of the bigger ones were cut down because they were in danger of hitting the house. I remember about 3 years before we moved out, there was this really bad windstorm and it knocked almost all the branches off the two big trees in the front yard. And when the windstorm did that, it knocked them almost all the trees down at once. And when I saw that, I thought there was a tornado there, and I thought I was about to die. But obviously, that's not what happened. The backyard of the house is surrounded by this chain link fence that was put up when I was pretty little. It was built to house my dog Hank. He was my first pet, and he still holds a pretty big place in my heart. He loved to play fetch, and he was kind of like the neighborhood guard dog, and he'd bark at anything suspicious at night. I miss Hank a lot. And in the in the back left corner of the back in the back left corner of the backyard, there was a bunker that I dug for airsoft. And airsoft is basically like electric BB guns that fire full auto and they look like real guns. And me and my friends, we used to have so much fun shooting each other with them. I miss my friends. I haven't stayed in touch with most of them after high school. We would rarely use the bunker because it would regularly fill with water. Because I guess when you're supposed to dig those bunkers, you're supposed to dig a pocket for the water to go, and I never did that. Shortly before we moved out, me and my dad, we buried the bunker. I wonder what it looks like now in the backyard, if you can tell it was ever there. And also in the backyard is a fire pit, and me and my dad, we'd have bonfires all the time. And dad, he'd burn stuff that he probably shouldn't burn, like TVs and stuff, which maybe breathing in the fumes of that might have knocked a few years off my life. Inside the house, my room was the last room on the right in the hallway. When I was little, we painted the room green with a dinosaur wallpaper. And when I started high school, my dad was like, "Yeah, you got to take down that wallpaper." And so me and him, we painted it solid green, like dark solid green. In the garage, if you look to your right, as soon as you walk in the garage, there's these holes on the wall. And that's from when I used to have this toy shotgun that was broken. And whenever you would shoot it, our little rod would shoot out a few inches. And me and my best friend Jacob, we just thought it was funny to put holes in the wall. And also in the kitchen, when I was little, I put an iron on the countertop and almost burned down the house. And for a long time, even years after I moved out, that mark on the countertop was still there. You could still tell that something's happened, but I wonder what it looks like today. The house is small. It's 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and two of the bedrooms that me and my brother used to stay in are pretty small. But regardless how small the house is, I always loved it. And one of the things I love about the house is the area it's in. I mean, there's some beautiful countryside around the house, and I used to play with the neighbor kids and swim in the neighbor's pool. Ever since I moved out, me or my family, we really never been close with our neighbors, so we never had a community like that ever again, which is kind of sad. I called my aunt to make this documentary to get permission to film in my old house. And she told me that I can come visit the house whenever I want, and that it's still my house, which is kind of great to hear.